The city they were in had been destroyed, but before the explosion was able to get to them, Kakarot made a barrier around the warriors and was able to save them. Apparently you warriors are Saiyans, but I'm not interested because the destruction of the planet which I'm the ruler, I'll eradicate them. Ha ha ha! Kakarot, stop saying stupid stuff, because no matter how hard you try, you've been sent to this planet, since it's about your power is extremely low. We've come all this way to recruit you so you're able to join us, as we're planning to end Frieza's life. That bastard's destroyed our planet. You better accept, because if you refuse, we'll end with you in this very place.
Ha! That's interesting. Do you think you have the required power to force me to come with you? Since I am on my own, I want to beat the damn Frieza.
Stop saying stupid things, so you better get ready. In a few hours, we'll leave the planet where Frieza is.
From what I understand, Raditz, you're my brother, but I'm not interested since you even come with the intention of ending my life. If that's the case, I'll end yours first.
Stop saying stupid shit. You're good for nothing, worm. You better obey your big brother if you don't want to end up beat up.
I'll tell you the same thing, you scumbag, if you have the power forced.
Raditz pushed against Kakarot, but Kakarot was able to dodge his blow and would make him retreat a few meters. However, before Raditz is able to pull himself together, he noticed how his brother's power increased.
Now fucking die, worm!
Kakarot's slide attack was able to execute a great technique from his fingertips, which went through Raditz completely, leaving him on the ground spitting blood.
Damn, how are you able to have this ability to beat me? And above all, how have you dared end the life of your own brother? You're a disgrace.
Hell, we haven't even faced Frieza yet, and we've already suffered a casualty. I'm not planning to collaborate with that useless Kakarot. I agree with you, Nappa. So he ends his life, and apparently that's what he wants the most. You can play with this. Nappa, annoyed, would pounce on Goku, dodging his punches, while the tournament warriors were surprised to realize Kakarot's level of dexterity.
No matter what we've done, we don't possess the power required to stand up to that warrior. I haven't been able to fight with him yet, but since the fight with Piccolo, his power has increased incredibly.
Master, but when we finish fighting with these warriors who call themselves Saiyans, we have our chance to finish with them once and for all.
Yes, of course, Master, since you'll be weak after having fought with 3 warriors.
Everyone's impression was much more when Kakarot changed his expression to a serious one, and with a single blow he pierced Nappa, who vomited blood all over the battlefield, falling to the ground.
What are these garbage supposed to do? His power's nothing.
Kakarot would stretch out one of his hands, powerful enough to end Nappa's life. Not leaving any of his bones, the gaze of the Saiyans would completely cross. If you're able to finish them, the only thing that means is that they were weak. Since it's the law of life, the strong survive and the weak die.
It's the first thing I agree with you. So at this moment, I'll finish with you because compared to me, you're weak.
Kakarot on this occasion would take the initiative, but the Prince of the Saiyans dodged his blow and returning the same. But Kakarot was also able to dodge it, beginning to exchange hundreds of blows all over the place. Destroying everything in their path, the Prince of the Saiyans gave him a powerful blow, sending him to the center of the platform, destroying it. I must admit that you possess an incredible power, but it's not surprising because my power goes beyond this.
Just as you had a lot more power, I do the same.
Vegeta, annoyed, would expel his power much more, being able to destroy everything. This time, the battlefield looked like a desert. Kakarot was surprised by the power Vegeta was able to use.
I'm surprised, but you won't be able to defeat me, as I've been the Saiyan who was born with the power of the elite warrior.
Kakarot would expel all his power, reaching 42,000 power units, way above Vegeta's power. Both began to exchange thousands of blows, but Vegeta would fall to the ground. Damn it. How is it possible that I, the Prince of the Saiyan, ends up in this condition? I don't think that I have to use the status of an Ozaru on this planet. Vegeta in one of his hands would make a large sphere of energy, throwing it to the sky, which would mix with the atmosphere. His body would change completely, making him an Ozaru as well as increasing his power. However, to a great surprise of Vegeta, who hadn't seen the tail of Kakarot, he would transform into an Ozaru. Vegeta would quickly try to stop it, but it was impossible for him to.
So only you were thinking of the transformation into an Ozaru. Although it doesn't matter that I transformed, since I also had been able to defeat you anyway.
Stop saying stupid things, you damn Earthling. Compared to me. The Battle of Ozars wouldn't last long because on this occasion, Kakarot's power was greater than Vegeta's, so it would end in humiliating him by Kakarot towards Vegeta.
It's time to end this battle, so you better leave because you'll be a worthy opponent in the future.
Vegeta lost his transformation, his tail cut off completely, while Kakarot had full control of his energy and was able to get to his base state without needing to cut his tail off, approaching Vegeta.
I want you to leave right now, but don't worry about Frieza because I'm planning to end his life myself.
Vegeta's ship had arrived to where he was, and he would leave the planet Earth. Kakarot would observe all the warriors.
What's going on? They don't want to fight anymore? I must admit your power surpasses us by hundreds of times. So please tell us, what is it you wish for? No one on this planet's able to stand up to you. I know that, so don't worry. I just wanted to become more powerful, but you really don't serve me for my ideals anymore.
Kakarot would leave feeling strange energy at the top of the planet. That's right, at this Temple of God of Earth, Kakarot arrived and was surprised to realize it was a subject similar to Piccolo.
I don't know who the hell you are, but I could tell you're not Piccolo since your energy's not evil at all.
And you must be the most powerful warrior on the planet Earth, the so-called Kakarot. Tell me, what brought you to my temple?
I want to make sure that know the training that's capable of making me more powerful, because I'm sure that very powerful subjects will come, and I only want to be able to protect this planet.
I don't agree with training you, but one thing I agree is that you'll be able to protect this planet. Even if you have evil in your heart, you are a warrior who takes care of what he conquered.
Ha! You're right about something. I'm not interested in those who are eradicated, but I won't allow anyone to be able to take over the planet which I conquered.
We'd rather have a ruler like you than someone being able to end our lives, so you can enter the room of that place, which will make time pass in a different way.
A different way? What do you mean?
In that room, you'll be able to train for a year in just one day. Although your body will physically feel only one day, this power you'll get will continue to keep.
I think I understand. What you mean is that an ordinary day passes here, 1 year passes in that place, right?
You're right. And that's why it's a great place for you to be able to get a new power in a short period of time.
Wow, that caught my attention. I want to train in that place.
Before I let you train, I want you to promise me that if you get the access, you will protect this planet.
I don't like being made rules, but I accept, since I won't let anyone rule my planet, much less the planet on which I'd grown up.
Kakarot entered the Room of Time, and he had started his rigorous training, being able to even destroy each of his bones because he had several seeds to heal all his wounds.
I have to get more power, since Frieza's power is amazing, and I'm not allowed to lose.
For his part, Vegeta arrived on the planet of Frieza. He would send a recovery capsule, starting to recover all his wounds. Returned to the Room of Time, Kakarot's body began to be a high-class warrior. His power was growing in an unreal way.
The power I'm getting's amazing. It'd be better if I had a training partner, but none of them would be able to do anything, so I better create a technique from that guy like Tien.
Kakarot started to meditate, creating a similar technique to Tien, which was able to multiply his power into several subjects. But that weak point of the technique was that in the same way his power was divided into 4, which was useless.
I have to be able to recreate a similar technique, but without that damn weakness.
Kakarot would meditate for a few months, but he was able to open his eyes, being able to bring out a new Kakarot from his body which possessed the same power as the original.
This is a success, the only thing I have to possess. I have great energy reserves because they're not able to finish my replica. I won't have any more energy, but my power's not divided. We both have the same power.
Both Kakarots began to battle, in which, on this occasion, both would, instead of decrease, began to increase in an incredible way. After a few months of training, they spent 2 years in that place, so Kakarot would unite his body completely, feeling much lighter with an incredible power.
Right now, I have to use 100% of all my power. I want to see how much I've been able to overcome my limits.
Kakarot would expel all his power, which would fill the entire room shake. However, he felt like an incredible power was flowing through his body, making it impossible for him to access it.
What is all this power I feel in my body?
but I'm not able to release it, or do I need to trigger something else? Kakarot would remember how his parents sent him to Earth, knowing that the tyrant Frieza wanted to destroy them, knowing his parents sacrificed for him, and his anger was able to get Kakarot to release this hidden power he had. Because at the moment, his incredible scream, his hair would turn golden while his power would increase incredibly. Wow, what is this power? It surpasses the transformation of the Ozardos by dozens of times. I have to master this because I feel my energy decrease rapidly. Kakarot began to train his new state to be able to face Frieza without any difficulty. Vegeta had completely recovered, leaving the recovery machine in search of revenge. Kakarot in the Room of Time has been able to access Super Saiyan, but even though his power multiplied by 10 times, it wasn't enough to face Frieza, and Kakarot knew this. Despite having the Saiyan impulse, he was able to control himself, knowing that if he went to his planet, he'd be exterminated. Even though I was born with a power that even surpasses the elite warriors, it wouldn't be sensible for me to go at this time, since I don't have the required power because that damn man calls himself the Emperor of Evil. He must be powerful. Kakarot would continue training. His body was able to get into the state. Meanwhile, on the planet of Frieza, Vegeta was able to recover. However, the humiliation he received wasn't able to overcome, so no matter what, he'd start in the same way with his rigorous training.
I'm the Prince of the Saiyans. I don't care if I have that bastard, even if he's considered high class, and was able to surpass the elite. I have to be much more powerful.
Vegeta's training was hell, since every time he finished his workout, he had to recover in the recovery machine, because the damage was so much that if he healed on his own, it would take weeks. Meanwhile, returning to the Room of Time, 7 Earth days had passed, to which the God of Earth had been surprised thinking Kakarot had died in that dimension.
Apparently, Kakarot's moved far away from the entrance, and trying to find it's impossible for him, although it will be the best for planet Earth.
Inside the time room, it had been about 7 years, which Kakarot was able to master Super Saiyan state, even being able to access the Phase 2, which was his power, was complete madness.
With the power I've been able to get, I'm sure I can defeat Frieza's bug, but I want to master my transformation at 100%.
Kakarot would meditate in his base state to understand his full energy in his body. Also being able to clarify his ideas, Kakarot spent in meditation pose about 6 months, so at the moment he'd stand up.
This moment, I have the maximum power, and I want to notice if there's any wear of energy.
Kakarot would cover himself with his fists. He'd begin to expel extremely amazing power, and the whole room trembled around him. But Kakarot, without stopping, would continue to increase his power, and some rays would spread all over his body. Kakarot had access to Super Saiyan 2 maximum power.
Despite having achieved all this power, I feel like my body's able to reach a new level.
Kakarot would stay for another 2.5 years in the time room, but this time he'd remained in Super Saiyan 2 state and some wear and tear of energy. But while training, he was able to notice a much bigger power grew inside him.
Apparently, really, I have more hidden power. I have to become more powerful.
Kakarot, in the short period of time he had left, would try to access one more transformation, but he wasn't able to. Although the power he was able to release in Super Saiyan 2 left him satisfied.
The power I've achieved is incredible. I'm sure with this power I'd be much more enough to end Frieza's life, but I'm sure I'll also be able to get more powerful. I want to be the Emperor of the Universe.
Kakarot returned to his base state, and he'd leave the Room of Time. Even though he decreased all his power the instant he left, an incredible power would be perceived by all the warriors on planet Earth, while in the same way the whole Earth would tremble as his power would be gigantic.
Wow, whose power is this? I doubt it's the power of that boy since it's only been 10 days, but the power he releases is so much it makes the Earth shake.
Exactly, Master. Oh, we don't know who's responsible for all this, but I'm sure none of us would be able to cope with it. Meanwhile, in a faraway place, there was a son of the Emperor of planet Earth. That's right, Piccolo, Kakarot's new rival, began to train to seek revenge on his father's murderer.
I'm sure you're the warrior who ended my father's life, so you better get ready, because no matter what I'll do, I'll end your life.
Kame-sama was surprised because of this power Kakarot's body released, so the instant he observed it, he was surprised.
But how long have you been able to get out of 10 years? No warrior stayed in that place so long.
Ha! Don't compare me with those pathetic beings on this planet. Their resistance is completely nothing compared to mine. I'm not talking about resistance, because to endure in that place for 10 years without having any contact is crazy. Not to any warrior, because if no one's able to achieve it, I'll be the first. But changing the subject, I want to get to a spaceship. What, a spaceship? That's something impossible for me since all my life I've lived on this planet. You're right, but I've got a better idea. I know you have these strange spheres, which can grant wishes. With these, your evil part was able to take over the eternal youth. You mean the Dragon Balls? I'm afraid to tell you they can't be used right now since they're currently being recently used and its time to wait is 1 year. I'm not interested in you being the god of Earth. If you don't want to fulfill what I ask, I'll end your life in this very place. I'm not in accordance with that. I'll eliminate all humans. I'm his protector, but he has to fulfill my wishes. I understand, Kakarot-sama. I ask for an apology. In that case, of course, there is a way to fulfill your wish, but it's only for this occasion. Yeah, don't worry, I'm not planning on coming back for a while. Kami-sama would bring a statue of the dragon, and with a little energy, the whole sky would darken and bring out Shenron.
Tell me, what is your wish? I can only fulfill one wish.
I wish you to give me a spaceship to be able to go to Frieza's planet.
That wish is very easy.
Shenron would grant him that ship that Kakarot had requested, to which Shenron would disappear again.
I've been able to fulfill your wish. What else you want me to do right now? Nothing for now, I appreciate it. This time I'll leave to avenge my entire race.
Kakarot got in the ship and would head towards space. Meanwhile, on the planet of Vegeta, Frieza would continue with his great training, in which he'd been able to completely achieve incredible results. Since Vegeta would start to consider his high class, wasn't able to compare himself to Kakarot's level.
With the power I've been able to get, it's not enough to end Frieza's life, but I'm sure with this power I'd be able to defeat Kakarot.
On the other hand, Kakarot's ship was granted by a wish, was flying through space faster than the common ships, and because of this, Kakarot was able to reach the planet of Frieza in only 5 days, which that ship would be able to reach, but the gate was open, several warriors would surround the ship not belonging to their army.
You'd better leave this planet if you don't want to die.
But before being able to react, an energy laser was able to end that warrior's life, making him fall to the ground. An incredible aura would rise over the planet, not letting anyone move any of their bones.
I'm not interested in finishing with any of you, but if you want to bring Frieza to me, I'll finish with that dam.
The Emperor of Evil was not on the planet because he left with his elite warriors to Namek, in which they were going for some spheres which were capable of fulfilling wishes, and Frieza was looking for eternal life.
Damn it! No matter how much power he has, that bastard, if he becomes mortal, I won't be able to do anything against him. I have to stop him.
Kakarot would rise quickly to the planet's atmosphere with his ship, going to start the loading large attack in one of his hands.
So this must have felt Frieza before he destroyed my planet. Ha! I plan to destroy everything he loves and then end his pathetic existence.
Kakarot would throw an incredible attack towards the planet, and since there was no competent warrior, the planet of Frieza exploded into 1,000 pieces, leaving nothing which was left of the planet, while Kakarot with a great speed began to come to the planet Namek.
I'm sure these guys must be of the same race as Piccolo. Damn it, if he keeps up, that's gonna be getting eternal life.
After 8 hours, he would get to planet Namek, and instantly, he noticed 100 of inhabitants had been eradicated by Frieza's soldiers.
I don't care if I'm done with these bastards, but I want them to be afraid of me. That good-for-nothing worm.
For his part, the Emperor of Evil was holding a small child from that planet, since having gathered all the spheres, he wasn't able to fulfill his wish.
Damn kid, you better help fulfill my wish, because if you don't, I'll end you in this whole planet myself.
Kakarot would be able to feel the energy of Frieza, starting to approach at a great speed, but on his way, he would run into special forces, which were the most powerful warriors. Kakarot wouldn't do nothing to end their lives, so he arrived and was able to hold the little boy, throwing him hundreds of meters.
I won't let you get your wish, you good-for-nothing worm.
Vegeta surprised, since he was holding at the right moment to snatch the desire from Frieza because he didn't have the required power to face him.
But if he's Kakarot, how's he able to get to planet Namek? Is he stupid? How do you plan on getting to face Frieza face to face?
You better go get the kid, because otherwise I'll make you suffer in the worst way possible. I don't care who you are.
I want you to try something since I come from only for a pathetic to end your pathetic existence, you Emperor of Evil. An irritated Frieza would rush against Kakarot, and he would stop his blow with only one of his fingers, which Frieza was surprised, but Kakarot would connect a big blow to his stomach, making him vomit large amounts of blood. Are you really the Emperor of Evil? I trained all my life for nothing to become your power is pathetic. Yeah, damn. That hurt me, but right now I'll use all my power since I have several transformations. Wow, if you only have several transformations, it'd be better to access the most powerful one, because if the next hit you don't transform, I'll finish you. Frieza would access his last form, and this power he released making the whole planet of Namek tremble. Vegeta would be surprised by that power, but Kakarot was nothing more than a simple breeze, because his power was greater, and after a great explosion, Frieza could be observed in his last form.
Now that I see you well, you're the identical to the Saiyan who opposed the destruction of planet Vegeta. Are you his son?
Worm, you dare tell me? Of course he's my father, and I'm your worst nightmare. I'm the little Saiyan who was born with more than 10,000 units of power. Frieza's look would change a little, but he would laugh again.
It doesn't matter if it exceeds that units of power, because in this form my power exceeds 10 million units, so a Saiyan won't be able to face me.
I don't know how much power I currently possess, but I'll face you in my base state. Frieza and Kakarot fought against each other with several blows, but in the first clash of their fists, Kakarot would realize how much power was superior to Frieza's power, because Frieza's face, the effort was observed, while Kakarot's part, he was just chill. Kakarot, with a slight blow, was able to descend into the bottom of the sea, destroying everything, since the power of his fist had been on another level.
I can't believe the Kakarot has able to overcome Frieza. This is a nightmare.
The power is enough for me to finish you, but I want to show you your nightmare. Kakarot would instantly clench his fists, being able to make everything around him rumble. All the incredible power of Kakarot was released, leaving Frieza and Vegeta surprised. The planet was shaking, and from incredible scream of Kakarot, the hair changed to gold color, while everything was destroyed by this power, which Kakarot released. Frieza would begin to tremble as this legendary Saiyan was in front of his eyes.
No, this can't be happening. You are the legendary Super Saiyan. I ended your life along with that planet Vegeta.
It's a pity that my fathers realized your betrayal by sending me to another planet, before you finished with the planet Vegeta.
No, that damn monkey. It's his damn fault I'm in this trouble.
I'm not interested in any of that now. I want to humiliate you in the worst possible way, and later end your damn life.
Even if you're the legendary Super Saiyan, I have no plans to let you end my life so easily. I am the Emperor of Evil.
Frieza, in spite, would throw himself against Kakarot, but despite this, his fists weren't able to cause any damage, since his skin was like metal. While Frieza's fists suffered damage while trying to hit him, Kakarot would stare at him. It's time for me to attack you, so hope you're ready. Frieza, despite putting on guard, he wasn't able to withstand a single blow to the stomach, because Frieza had fallen to the ground writhing in pain, and bloody saliva was coming out of his mouth. Vegeta noticed this, surprised.
What should I do? I don't really know what to do, since if Kakarot's able to humiliate Frieza like that, I won't be able to do anything against him.
Kakarot would take Frieza by the neck, holding him tightly, and Frieza would take several blows, not able to get Kakarot to let go. I can't believe you call yourself the Emperor of Evil with that pathetic power. Kakarot released him, but before he fell to the ground, with a powerful blow, he sent him flying, destroying several mountains in the path, and a very powerful warrior being exiled from the Divine World was watching this battle, since he wanted a new body to be his vessel.
The body of that Saiyan's incredible.
But if at that young age he already possesses all that power, he's able to take control of the body from me. Although he could be the surprise of an apprentice, so that the Super Dragon Balls, he gets me a body. The guy named Kronos would observe Vegeta, realizing that he didn't have the incredible power of Kakarot's. The power that was sleeping inside was crazy. That guy will either be my recipient or my apprentice. Kakarot felt the power of Vegeta heading towards him with a great speed that he wasn't able to react to. Vegeta, what are you supposed to be doing, hiding like a rat? Didn't you call yourself the Prince of the Saiyans? To me, you're just nothing but the Prince of Cowards. Furious, Vegeta would try to eat his pride, but his anger was so great he'd throw a big punch at him, making him able to hit him all over the face, but wasn't able to move him even a millimeter. That's pathetic. Is that all your power? Kakarot would channel a great power in his fist, and before he'd hit him, a scythe was able to send him flying with great damage, while Portal teleported Vegeta to a secret place, and Kakarot's been sent to a few mountains destroying everything in the path. What the hell? Who attacked me? Kakarot would fly quickly to where Vegeta was, but completely disappeared. Kakarot would vomit blood all over his body. Damn, the damage he was able to cause me is incredible. I haven't seen anything like this, but my body's shattered. Frieza would be able to access 100% of his power and would lash out with all his fury against Kakarot, receiving a tremendous impact. This power decreased considerably, making it hard for him to keep up with Vegeta at 100%. So Kakarot, in a slight oversight, was able to access a little of his Super Saiyan 2, which would, after a few exchanges of blows, would be able to leave Frieza on the ground. Kakarot would still, though, fall to the ground. Damn, I didn't think this guy other than Frieza is able to generate tremendous damage to me. My body hurts. That happens to you for fighting a legendary evil emperor. I warned you that even though you're the legendary Super Saiyan, you won't be able to defeat me. Frieza once more rushed Kakarot, but Kakarot, using all his power on his leg, was able to connect a huge kick, separating the head from the body, and able to defeat the evil emperor. Kakarot instantly returned to his base state. Damn, my body hurts too much. I gotta get back to the ship, quick! Kakarot with a few energies to return to the ship, but placing in the destination, Kakarot was knocked out of combat, and the ship would take him to a different planet. For his part, Vegeta arrived where Kronos was.
What is this place? Where am I located?
Since you'll be my disciple, I want you to become more powerful. You'll be under my teaching, since I'll be able to become a powerful warrior.
I'm not interested in any guy training me, since I'm very powerful on my own, so don't worry.
If you want to leave, you can, but let me remind you, you're almost eradicated by that Saiyan. If it hadn't been for me, you'd died. Vegeta would remember this and standing still completely.
I'm sorry. I really want you to train me. I want to become much more powerful so that Kakarot bug will regret everything he did to me.
In that case, you have to obey everything I tell you, because the training that I intend to give you is the training beyond the gods.
Beyond the gods? I don't understand.
That's right. I know mortals like you this is a lot, but I was the most powerful god of the 18 universes. But because Zeno-sama cursed me, I eliminated all the 6 most powerful universes and was banished from my divine powers.
That means that in this universe there's also a god.
Right. But for your fortune, none of that'll happen now, because despite not having the divine energy, I'm still capable of defeating any god of these universes.
You're able to do that if you don't have any divine energy.
You ask a lot of questions, but I'll answer. Despite having lost my energy, the only gods able to defeat me would be the 5 gods also eliminated, since we're the most powerful ones.
You're implying to me that the 6 eliminated universes were the most powerful among the 18, but even those 6 universes, you were the most powerful.
Right, but since I currently don't possess any divine energy, they'd be the only ones defeating me, and of course, admitting the existence of the Great Priest.
Really, if I want to be your disciple, with you I'll be able to achieve an incredible power.
In that case, I hope you're ready, because the training I'll give you will be worse than death. Meanwhile, with Kakarot, his ship crashed on a strange planet. Since not being able to place the correct coordinates, it clashed on a nearby planet, but when he was out of combat, the inhabitants were able to heal each of his wounds. And after 5 days, Kakarot woke up, putting himself in a combat pose, but would realize how the warriors helped him instead of fending him off. I guess I have to thank you, because if it wasn't for you, I'd lost my life. But who the hell was that guy? Kakarot would start training with these inhabitants. Despite not possessing any great physical power, their abilities were incredible, even giving Kakarot problems, since their abilities eliminated his presence completely, being useless to try to feel the energy of his opponent. Wow, despite being weak, their abilities were amazing. But among these abilities, I'm interested in the ones you call teleportation. The inhabitants were able to teach him that, and Kakarot, being a prodigy, was able to master it in 3 weeks training, so he would try his new technique. I really appreciate that very much, since when you need something, don't hesitate to ask. Just think of me and I'll be able to listen to you. Kakarot would leave the planet of Yadrat, starting to head towards Earth. With the help of teleportation, he was able to approach multiple planets until he could feel the energy of the Earth warriors. However, he would notice how their energies of hundreds of people were disappearing. What the hell's going on? Is there anyone to rule the planet of which I'm the king? Kakarot's able to reach Earth, realizing how everyone had been destroyed, so he'd try to find the person responsible. But he would see a guy in flames, which had Master Roshi by the neck.
If you don't tell me where the Kakarot bug is, I swear I'll end your life. For the king, he's too pathetic. He's been able to abandon his people.
I'm here. I don't know who you are, but I'm not planning to forgive you for destroying my planet, you fucking worm.
Well, apparently you have a lot of esteem for this damn old man. It's a pity because, after all, I'll end his life anyway.
Piccolo trying to end Master Roshi, Kakarot was able to make him retreat a few meters while being able to hold Master Roshi.
I'm the only governor of this planet, so you better get well, old man. I'll take care of the rest. You're very powerful, Kakarot, but I think even you won't be able to do anything against that demon. His power's on another level. Don't say stupid things, old man. You don't know my true power.
Kakarot would approach Piccolo and would, in the same way, face him, and they'd stare at each other.
So you're the warrior of ending my father's life. You don't seem so powerful.
Ha! You talk trash with that mouth since you only know what you're saying. I'm able to finish you in the blink of an eye.
Both would exchange blows, but Kakarot, despite using all his power, in his base state was not able to connect a blow, which would make him question the true power of Piccolo.
Even the power he possesses is more powerful than Frieza's, since his power goes beyond.
You better not lose focus. I'm not gonna miss an opportunity to end your pathetic life.
Piccolo was able to connect a powerful blow in his stomach, causing him pain and sending him to the ground. Before he recovered, Piccolo would throw a great attack from his mouth, which he was able to reach Kakarot, but between the smoke screen, power would be perceived. Kakarot had access to the Super Saiyan.
This warm-up's over. I must confess, you're powerful, but I want to see what you could do against the Super Saiyan.
By just changing your hair color, you won't be able to do anything. You're a simple human who can't do anything against me.
The battle would resume, but Kakarot would use Super Saiyan, not being able to generate great damage to Piccolo. He would release more power, which Kakarot was confused, but would have him a few meters away, and would have thrown a great attack, sending him flying thousands of meters, generating an incredible explosion around him.
What the hell's going on? He's more powerful than Frieza, and he used to call himself the Emperor of Evil.
But to Kakarot's surprise, a much greater power was being able to be released from his body, and a pressure that was making him fall to the ground without being able to move any of his limbs.
What is this pressure? How's he able to get all this power? He's crazy!
Why, you're not on planet Earth. I've been more powerful, so I want you to admire my true power.
Kakarot, with great difficulty, was able to stand up, accessing Super Saiyan 2 Max with his ability to repel that great pressure.
No matter how much power you possess, I've been able to overcome my power.
Piccolo at that moment was able to access a new state, making him more powerful. Even though Kakarot was able not to feel his power, his energy was more dense, and he had access to a new state called Orange Piccolo.
I hope you're ready for the day of your death, you miserable scumbag.
Well guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment and subscribe. Now without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.